And I request Mr. Ramesh Vemuganti, sir, a very senior industry professional who worked at the senior position of Vice President, President in the IT company across the globe, and who is presently a member of Telangana Skill Development Committee, and who is the founder CEO of Chanakya Consulting, and a very dynamic, young, no, I must say, very young professional who will lead the session. The most important part of the Edu Summit is the panel discussion, wherein we have eminent speakers across the world on board. Thank you so much, sir. Over to you. Sir, unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Professor Bulanath. By repeatedly calling me young, you have really made me more energetic. That's very important for all of us in this panel and in this forum. What I'll do is, initially to start with, let me express my gratitude and congratulations to Professor Bulanath for this wonderful 11th World Edu Summit, which has been going repeatedly without any break, and the cooperation of all seniors. Dr. Prabhakar ji, Dr. Pratap Reddy sir, Dr. Kashyap, Dr. Kuldeep, and very senior members who have been continuously nurturing. Let's give a round of applause for each one of them.
Thank you.
One line I would like to summarize what MTC is doing is continuously adding value without any expectations. There are many forums, many organizations, many institutions across the globe who always expect something. But here is an institution, a forum, which is adding value on a daily basis to management education, to the cause of management education, to improve the standards and quality of management education, not only in India, but across the globe, spanning continents, spanning economies, and adding value. And primarily all the senior members who are continuously participating in the mails and discussions, giving their observations and suggestions, they are responsible for this enhancement of MTC Global to a different level and at the global scenario. It's making a huge difference. A sustainable development model is being created by MTC Global itself, and it's a model to be replicated across other economies. Let me share with you a few of my thoughts on the topic. Then we will start with introducing the speakers, and each one can observe and give their views. The topic, Global Education 2050, Enhancing Global Citizenships and Online Partnerships. There are three major areas in this topic. How will global education shape up in 2050? What can be done to enhance global citizenship? And the significance of online partnerships. How do we scale up global citizenship, redefine and reposition in the light of the ongoing pandemic? Everything has been talked about, but equally important is we need to keep the pandemic into consideration and forge and strengthen the online partnerships. So the focus of the panel discussion is Global Education 2050. How will education be and how can we cope up and shape up? With a special focus on enhancing and taking global citizenship to the next level, one, and two, what it needs to be done is the right partnerships. And all of us know very well, and Dr. Prabhakar ji has repeatedly emphasized on the importance of partnerships, tie-ups, and alliances. Earlier, universities were doing the tie-ups offline. Today, thanks to pandemic, we are getting into an online mode. So the time has come for online partnerships of universities, institutions, centers of excellence, economies, which are with a thrust on education. And here we have a special mention of UNESCO, which I'll just, in a couple of minutes, I'll share with you. I will do three things now. Next, One, what is global citizenship? Two, online partnerships. And three, my views, and take it forward for the panel discussion. Global citizens' responsibilities. Here they are: respecting others, obeying rules and laws, setting a good example for others, help when others' rights are violated wherever in the world, concern for environment, respecting diversity, whether it is language, cultural, gender, regional, social justice and equity, globalization and interdependence. These are not the days of independence, these are the days of interdependence. The more interdependent we are, the more progress we make and go forward. Next, online partnerships. UNESCO. UNESCO is playing a major role in global citizenship movement. It's guided by Education 2030, quality education in SDG 4, repeated emphasis across online and Google on SDG 4, which is quality education. UNESCO is making a huge contribution in terms of communities, in terms of people, in terms of innovative programs to preserve the planet, to preserve the environment. The agenda and framework for action is very clear by UNESCO. SDS adopted by UN in 2050. Okay, it's a universal call for action. All the SDGs, 17 SDGs, which we have been discussing from last summit onwards. End poverty, protect the planet, and ensure all people enjoy peace and prosperity by 2030. This is the ultimate objective of all the SDGs. Now, coming to the final part, what do we mean by Global Education 2050? Let's come to the conclusion after all the speakers give their observations and suggestions, as each one will have their own profound thoughts and views on that. Three questions. One, what knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values will today's students need to thrive and shape the world of 2050? I repeat, what knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values will today's students need to thrive and shape the world of 2050? Two, how can the instructional system develop these knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values effectively? Today, all of us are teachers here. We need to ask how effective are our instruction modes? What needs to be done, whether it is a hybrid model, whether it is a blended learning model, whether it is a technology oriented, whether it is a humanity overtaken technology as Einstein had stated, whether it is inner engineering, which Dr. Prabhakarji is talking about. You can offer your views on that. Seizing opportunities. The ultimate objective is all about seizing opportunities. There are global opportunities. No institution or no organization can exploit or seize the opportunities on their own. It has to be through tie-ups. It has to be through collaborations. So seizing opportunities and finding solutions will be a shared responsibility. This should be the main focus. Ultimately, it's all being sharing of responsibilities. So, I would like to conclude with two more points. One, on what the student should be doing, and two, what my views on data, information, knowledge, technology, innovation is. One, what is the student's thinking? What is the student thinking today? There is a reduction of attention spans. In the online environment, they are coming onto the online, but they are switching off. So, are we delivering the right way? Are we imparting the right knowledge? Are they absorbing? There is a gap over there that needs to be addressed. So, students need to navigate through uncertainty by developing it. We have seen uncertainty in all our lives at different points of time as seniors, but the students have to develop and learn how to face and overcome uncertainty. That is the need of the hour. So students should focus on curiosity. Today's students, are they curious? Think, at least in most of the universities, that's not the case. Two, imagination. Again, there is a gap to be addressed. Resilience, it comes only if you are a very strong student. And self-regulation, which is of course certainly need of the hour amongst many students, especially the youth who are technology addicted. Next, a respect for ideas. That's important today. How much of respect we have for ideas do our students have it? See, the problem is most of the teachers say we are doing a great job, but it is no longer we or I. You ensure that the student is doing a great job. The purpose of teaching is to arouse curiosity amongst the student. Make the students and leave him. Leave him. He will become a learner for life. Today, it's not about learning only for a few years. It is a 24/7 triple L, lifelong learning. That is the world they are getting into. And that is the world they need to understand. So make them curious. Let them speak out. More innovative ideas, more curiosity, more thinking, more exchanges. Please do not work hard, please. I have seen many academicians, teachers, faculty, professors, deans working extremely hard. Think it's time to make the students also work hard. If you want a sustainable model by 2015 world education, in global education, you need to ensure that every student works hard. In any part of the globe, across the globe, in any nation, in higher education, secondary education, school education, please impart strong values in school education. Again, Prabhakarji mentioned that from age of 4 to 15, most of the character and soft skills are developed. So we need to ensure that that really happens. There is certainly a gap in India, in Bangladesh, where I visited, in several other nations. The strong values are not being imparted to the students, by which they will not be able to become the global citizens of tomorrow. So these are the challenges, finally. And then the student needs to cope up with failure and rejection. Failure and rejection. Failure is not the end of the story. Failure is only beginning of a new life, new chapter, new approach, new road, new direction, new dimension. This is what the student needs to understand. And that makes a big difference. And then rejection has to be taken in the right way. Rejection is part of the growth process. Rejection is part of, they say, failure itself is a part of success. All of us know very well. Anyone who has achieved anything in any walks of life, any field, has he not failed? The student has to understand. And finally, move forward in the face of adversity. Today it is a pandemic. Tomorrow it could be something else. Climate control is really a huge subject. It's a massive, stupendous subject today. Global environment is getting disturbed by various factors. There are different factors which may not be discussed in depth in this forum, because we confine to mostly the education part of it. So there are a lot of adversity, a lot of challenges. A student has to be prepared. Now, I would like to conclude with my thoughts on information and knowledge. Everyone says knowledge is free. There is an issue there. Knowledge is not free. Data is free. You go to Google, you have data, you have information. Selective data is information. Selective information is knowledge. Application of knowledge is technology. Anything new which adds value and benefits the end user is innovation. All advanced countries focus on technologies and innovations because they have a huge tons of data, information, which is backing, from which they have culled out and mined the knowledge. That is the difference between developed countries and developing countries and the underdeveloped. In developing and underdeveloped, a lot of data and information has to be culled out. Different methods, different models, different technologies, different tools have to be utilized to convert them into the knowledge process. If you look at the Stanfords and Harvards and the top institutions globally and accepted, the Massachusetts or even our own IIMs, the leading institutions, what is the difference between them and others is the knowledge. Whereas other universities, other places, they are assuming that the information they have is knowledge. A lot of work needs to be done before you convert the information into knowledge. Otherwise, we assume that knowledge is free. Knowledge is not free. And this is another thing which MTC Global can emphasize and pass a message across the globe. It's time we understood data, information, knowledge in separate brackets. Every student thinks I can learn from the Google.
Hello.
I don't need any teacher. There is a huge mistake there. A teacher will tell you the difference between information and knowledge. A teacher will
भेजता हूँ लिंक पे, देखिए
make
क्यों
you
नहीं हो रहा है,
understand
सब
what is
कुछ तो
data
ज्वाइन
and
हुआ
what is
है आपका वहाँ
information.
से।
Before you get onto the world, you need to know this.
नहीं, आपका क्या नाम है सर?
It can be any field from archaeology to zoology.
हाँ 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 हाँ
As
हाँ
simple as that.
सर, आपको मैं लिंक भेजता हूँ, आप अभी कोशिश
So
कीजिए
I
एक
would
बार।
like to conclude now with
हाँ,
this
भेजता हूँ सर, SMS
food for
करता हूँ।
thought and go on to the panel discussion with a famous quote by Nelson Mandela, who said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world." If at all there is one weapon which we can use to make a huge difference in this globalized world, it is education. And that is what is the focus in this particular forum. With these words, I conclude my initial presentation and also the panel discussion starting off. I wish to invite all the speakers to start with